With as many kids as we see, we have this deep breadth of knowledge to realize that all these kids come from different circumstances, and if you've seen one kid, you've seen one. I think historically kids would be kind of put together, the delinquent kids or the children in need of assistance.
Trauma-informed care really isn't that new. It's been around for 20 years. However, I would say in the last 5 years, it's really taken root and more people have become aware of it.
I think you're just hearing more about it. I think that people are finally buying into it. Before, the training used to be, okay, this is what trauma is. Let me tell you about PTSD. This is why you should care. It actually, you know, a lot of youth in the system are traumatized, and that was kind of it. But now people have really bought into it. They understand that trauma is important, and now they really want to know, okay, well, what can I do about it? Well, incarcerating kids is not working. I think that's one thing everybody can kind of agree on, and that we need to be doing something new and something different. And I think that's where the trauma-informed policies come in.
The attendees come from primarily across the state of Iowa to hear the speakers, and then the speakers are coming from across the country.
The project really is twofold. The first is creating a community stakeholders group so that we can affect systematic change. And the stakeholders group is made up of individuals from a variety of disciplines and agencies. The second piece of the project is doing trainings, and that's what the Trauma-Informed Care Conference is all about. So this year it's our 4th annual Psychological Trauma and Juvenile Justice Conference. And we bring national speakers to Des Moines so that agencies here don't have to send people, you know, thousands of dollars someplace else and can get good quality training.
Yeah, I'm a developmental psychologist actually. So what I will also be discussing is the impact trauma and violence has on child and adolescent development, and really how it can change one's developmental trajectory towards things like delinquency. So really kind of reframing problem behaviors in the context of trauma.
To give them tools and strategies of how to do things differently. I think that knowledge is nice, but I think a conference like this gives the opportunity not just to get trained and not just to increase your knowledge, but also to actually think of ways to apply the knowledge, change the way things are done. Again, just putting the knowledge into action.
Orchard Place has been doing a really great thing. I mean, they obviously have a lot of child-serving programs in place, and they have a lot of therapy offices and everything that really continues to make a difference. And I think it's just great to see that they've been able to pull people together from across the entire community and have an impact of this magnitude, because, you know, who else is going to do it, right?
It enriches our knowledge base when we can draw on knowledge from all different kinds of survivor groups and experience. It helps us be better clinicians. It helps us give better service. And it helps us do better self-care.
We have people emailing us in January asking, is the conference registration open yet? And typically it opens the first week in April, but people are, you know, wanting to get on a waiting list so that they make sure that they get in before it's sold out.
What Orchard Place is doing through a conference or series of conferences like this over the years is really building sort of a homegrown movement. I mean, it's not just about teaching. They're not bringing people together to teach for 3 days and then people go off and go back to work as usual. It's really, it seems to me, at least as an outsider, as part of a much bigger long-term puzzle, part of a process rather than a single event that really does carry through. I think it again will pay dividends for people in Iowa to be able to have this network that I think is really fostered through this kind of conference by Orchard Place.